You know, we talk about deer fails, and we shot another video today where we really talk about the main point. Number one was don't give up. There's a lot of opportunity in December. Some of my favorite childhood hunts have been in December, where we were just learning how to hunt and exploring and having fun and watching deer tracks in the snow. Loved it. We used to spend a lot of time hunting does between Christmas and New Year's up in the Thumb area of Michigan. Why just does? Because at that time, I had 1 year where I saw right around 26 bucks before gun season, November 15th. I hunted that area for 10 years, and all 10 years combined, I saw one antlered buck after gun season. So by the time we got into Christmas and New Year's, we were hunting does. We just didn't have the big woods and holding cover that attracted any kind of bucks that made it through the season, not to mention a lot of them didn't make it through the season. Just about everything was shot. So a lot of opportunity, a lot of fun to be had, and I think those deer herds back from the late 80s, 90s, to me, have gotten a lot better in locations. I know in the Thumb area where I used to hunt, it's a lot better than it was at that time too. Number one, find the herd. And this is a big thing. The herd is moving. Obviously, people say, well, yeah, find deer numbers. That's pretty obvious. What's not obvious is these are not going to be in your typical October, November hunts where you hunted bucks, hunted does before. Food sources are shrinking. Quality cover that's been unpressured is really shrinking. So although does can take a lot of pressure, hunting pressure, even just adequate foods instead of great foods, they still have to move too, because cover and food supplies are shrinking. And when you add hunting pressure in, you're really narrowing it down to a fraction of what was available in early October, late September, end of October even, compared to end of December. So find the herd. And when you find the herd, there'll be lots of tracks, lots of sign, lots of pellets, lots of deer. And that could even hurt you a little bit. We'll talk to you about in a second, because a lot of mature bucks at that time don't want to hang out with the herd. They might be alongside, they might be off to the side, but even bedding wise, they're going to be in a little bit different spot, more remote, certainly than all those does and fawns that are piling up for an afternoon food source in late December. Number two, morning hunting. There's some morning hunting opportunity. One of the things you look at, you want to really distance yourselves from those food sources. And I've even seen this video long ago, or it might have been the Kiski Outdoors, but we're going back in the late 90s, 2000s, somewhere around there, where there's a big old buck they were after, 7 or 8 years old, and they had many sheds from them. All these does and fawns are coming into a late season food source, young bucks, middle-aged bucks, but they're looking for this granddaddy. And they had to set up several hundred yards away, and they ended up shooting him right before dark when he was moving out of his bed. The point was that he was a long ways away from those does, fawns, young bucks, and that creates an opportunity, because if he's feeding in a certain spot and he's moving 700 yards back to his hidey hole, then a lot of times he's almost staging during the night and during the morning to get back to that location and spend some time. Meaning you have time to maybe get into that spot before he does. And I wouldn't take a chance on that every single day. Obviously, he's either there or not, and make sure I got some evening hunts in if it's predictably that he's coming into that food source. But I would take a chance on that morning. Just know that if you go in that brush area right adjacent to the food source, you're going to spook a lot of deer out and ruin your not only morning hunt and opportunity, but that afternoon hunt too. So it gives you that opportunity to slip in the morning, get well away from that food source. If you have to walk through the food source, if your only option is to sit on the food source or sit near it, sit in the brush area next to the food source, then I would opt to not even hunt during the morning, because unless you can really separate yourself and get a long ways back through some good quality cover and wait for that buck to come back to you, then I'd rather just wait for the evening, where it's a lot more predictable, and a lot more predictable how I can get in and out without spooking deer at that time. Morning time, you just don't know where they're at. That's what makes it tough. So how to use food? Again, 200 yards plus in most areas away from the food source. And I think you can extend that to several hundred yards in a lot of areas if they're making big movements across to open ag. Number two, brushy area and staging area. That's a great spot to hunt as those deer are starting to come out to the food source, but you have to make sure they're not bedding in that location. Think of low brushy areas, areas where you might not have a lot of trees, you might have to use a ground blind. But that brushy staging area before they exit and go out into that open area is an area that they've been holding to all season long, not wanting them to expose themselves, especially when they got into the hunting pressure times out in that food source. So they're holding up in that location, great, predictable spot to hunt for the afternoon hours, to slip in off to the side. Don't pressure it, but meaning just get off to the side, let those deer come out. Really cool spot. And look at the half-hour rule. You know, you can't spook these deer. They're already kind of jumpy. Think about, sorry I didn't put hour in there, but half-hour rule, meaning that those does and fawns that are coming into that food, always think that that buck's going to be at least a half hour, 45 minutes behind. So that rule tells you where to hunt. If those does are not coming into that food source until 15 minutes before light and you're after a certain buck or before dark, then you're going to want to get back 100 yards, 200 yards, because he's not just sitting back there waiting to come in and letting all the does and fawn pass him. Those does and fawns are bedded a lot closer to the food source than he is, and that's why it's taking him so long to get to that food source. So think about that. He's going to be at least a half hour behind on average. He might even be an hour. So let that determine where you actually hunt. If those does and fawns aren't getting to the food source till 10 minutes before dark, he's probably still 200-300 yards away at least. Let that determine how you get in and hunt. Maybe a funnel that crosses a river system, maybe along a wood edge where there's a habitat change. You're slipping into an area where you expect a deer to funnel a long ways away from that food source. Number 4, suburban hot spots. These are at some of my hunting Oakland County, lower Michigan. I think it's some really cool spots where a lot of deer get pushed into. Think about it, small little ag fields are already picked. There's been a lot of hunting pressure in certain locations. And it always seemed like certain locations, 5 acres, 10 acres, neighborhood set-aside area, had some great opportunities to hunt. Those are the areas where you drive by in late December, January on the expressway. And you look back into a little corner of the woods, you see a pile of deer there. A great opportunity to maybe knock on some doors. Those deer might be feeding on bird feeders, ornamental shrubs, cause some damage to trees, fruit trees that someone has planted in the yard. Might be an opportunity to say, hey, I want to come in and I want to help you thin some does, and then maybe they'll let you come back and buck hunt the following year, and you can knock on some doors, get some good places like that. But there's some excellent places to hunt in and around houses during the winter time. And finally, pre-snow and post-snow. You know, a lot of times when snow is coming down and you're really having a system come in, it might be a good time to hunt. But deer have a knack for knowing whether this is going to be a big snow and they're going to be blizzard, they're going to get caught out in the open or not. So if you have a 1 to 3 inch light snow with moderate winds or light winds coming in, could be a really great time to hunt on the front side of that snow. And then always think about what the snow is doing to these creatures and critters. A lot of times if you get high winds, they're going to be on the lee side of the cover. I've seen that on highways where I'm driving down the highway and I look west, and there's piles of deer on the east side of the cover because there's giant winds coming in from the west, a lot of snow coming in. That'll press deer and push them into locations, whether it's conifer stands, lowland swamp, areas that I wouldn't hunt before the snow came in because there's no reason for those deer to be there. But when they're escaping wind and they're escaping snow depth, then any of that lower land swampy cover areas that have thermal protection, lots of conifers, really good briar. I'm thinking areas that you find really good rabbit cover next to conifer stands, mixed with briars, hardwood regen, shrubs. Those are all after the snow great locations to go find a deer or a buck that might not necessarily have been there before that snow took place. But always remember, this time of year there's a lot of opportunity. You got to make sure you keep from avoiding or spooking deer. And then also, with that opportunity often comes a change of location. So you have to be mobile. Find the herd again. What I mean by that is not just finding a lot of deer, it's finding where they're at that moment, at that time of the season, versus your typical hot hunting locations of October and November. A lot of opportunity right now, a lot of ways to save your season and put your tag on a deer. A lot of you have off during the holidays. Even to get out on a nice morning hunt in one of those locations or an afternoon food source could be a great little hunt to slip in, enjoy some of the late season hunting, and still fill your tag. There's still time left, and I hope you can take advantage of it this late season. Now, I appreciate you guys watching the YouTube channel, but I don't know if everyone knows everything that we have to offer, whether it's on whitetailhabitatsolutions.com, our website, our WHS Wildlife Blends, our seed company, Also, Instagram you can check out. I'm very active on Instagram, putting strategies on there, photos of what we do every day. Much more active there than Facebook. But our seed, web classes, books, clients, articles. I have over 600 articles on whitetailhabitatsolutions.com, everything whitetail strategy. Of course, we have hats on there, and then make sure to check us out on Instagram again. But lots of stuff to offer. We're always coming out with new things, and this isn't the end of it. We have more things coming soon. Make sure to check us out.